Welcome to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. I'm Pete Mezzetti. My guest this evening is Tony Cronin, who is the secretary of the Old Saybrook Fire Department. Tony, welcome. How are you?
Thank you. I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me on.
Well, thank you for coming down. Tony, tell us a little bit about your background with the Old Saybrook Fire Department.
Sure. I've been with the Old Saybrook Fire Department for 35 years.
Wow.
I joined in 1988 with a recruitment class of 12 people.
Okay.
There's two of us left after 35 years, myself and Don Lucas. I just wanted to get involved in something in my town. As a journalist, I was involved in covering police and fire events.
Okay.
I always had an interest in that. So they had a recruit night way back in 1988, and I came in and joined, and I've been a member ever since. And I've been a fire company secretary, I don't know, like 16 or 17 years.
Wow.
So as I get older, I'm doing more on the administrative side, but I still go to calls and try not to get in the way, actually.
Right.
But it's been an amazing 35 years.
Now, as far as your role as secretary of the fire company, what exactly do you do?
Well, the fire company is basically the members, and the fire department, the OSFD, is the building, the fire equipment that the town purchases for us. So as fire company secretary, take care of any correspondence, thank you letters, company minutes. Most recently, I wrote the history highlights over the past 100 years for the fire department, which is on our website at oldsaybroookfire.com.
Okay.
And that was a huge undertaking. I had done one for our 75th anniversary, so then I just spent many nights going through the last 25 years of our meeting minutes, correspondence, etc. And it's any kind of, press releases, if there are some, any kind of written details, communications, but primarily during our monthly company meeting, I take care of all the minutes, and if there's any correspondence related to that from that meeting, I take care of that as well.
Nice. Now, as far as, that's one of the reasons we're here tonight, is to talk about the 100th anniversary.
Yeah, amazing.
So, where do you want to start? Start 100 years ago.
Yeah,
let's
right.
Work,
right. It'll be a long night.
Yeah.
I don't want to put you to sleep.
Yeah. Right.
Well, the fire company started in 1924.
Okay.
It actually was chartered on August 26th of 1924.
All right.
With one fire engine and 33 charter members, what we call it, the original founding members.
Okay.
Gordon B. Smith was the first fire chief, and our fire boat, which we have in the Old Saybrook Fire, is named after him, the Gordon B. Smith fire boat.
Really?
Yeah, it was. They determined that they wanted to create a fire company to protect the town better.
Okay.
And the first fire company shed, if you will, one barn kind of structure was behind town hall to house the one fire engine. I guess you'd call it the fire headquarters. Later years, they built one behind town hall that was larger with more bays for the equipment as they grew, which faced onto Sheffield Street, which is right behind town hall.
Yes.
So they, over the decades, they began building membership. They began acquiring more equipment as the town grew. I should mention that in 1924, maybe 1,500 people in town, so 33 volunteer firefighters. Fast forward to today, the town has well over 10,000, probably doubles population in the summer.
Right.
And we have about 80 members, so it's really grown.
Wow. I believe we have some photos we want to take a look at. So as we take a look at them, can you maybe explain to us what we're looking at?
Sure. Well, that is the original fire truck, the American LaFrance fire engine. That is parked in front of the second fire building, if you will.
Okay.
And you can see Old Saybrook Fire Department number 1,
Yeah.
3-bay building. But that was the first. That's what it began with, that one fire engine and the 33 firefighters. So it's great that it's been preserved. In fact, I should mention that a private owner acquired that fire engine and restored it and refurbished it, which must have taken a lot of work.
Right.
And he's going to be in our parade in that original fire engine from 1924.
Really?
In our parade. Yeah, it's a new development. I think our past chief, J.T. Dunn, and our other chiefs had been working on that, had found the person who owns that vehicle. But that's amazing. I didn't realize it was still around. But it's been refurbished and updated, so that it can be roadworthy, if you will. But that's the original from 1924.
Wow.
Yeah. That's was, as you can see, it says August 25th, 1940. That's one of the, at that time, newer fire engines.
Okay.
And you can see some of the volunteers are up on a roof. I assume that to be something in a problem with the chimney or a chimney fire.
Yeah, probably.
You can see that it's a, you know, for that time, a well-equipped engine. Different than today in that, you know, when we go to calls, especially any kind of chimney fire or issue, we would be fully outfitted in our fire uniforms.
Yeah.
But that was from 1940.
Wow.
That is at the, those are some of the original members in some of the earliest fire equipment that we had outside the earlier fire headquarters, the building that we showed. And I don't know the actual dates on those fire engines, but there looks to be 2 of them, and then some of the original members in that photo. I don't know the gentleman on the left, if they're one of the, obviously maybe an officer. I don't know if that was the chief. I can't really tell, but that's from our archives, if you will, older photos.
All right.
That is our older engine 2,
Okay.
and that's in front of the fire headquarters we had prior to the one we have now on Main Street.
All right.
This would be the one facing out onto Sheffield Street, which runs inside of Town Hall
Sure.
and our rec center. But that gave many years of service to the fire department, and you can see there's 2 other vehicles
Yes.
on the left and the right, engine 3, and then I don't know if that was considered the attack truck on the right side.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But it's a nice looking fire engine,
Wow.
engine 2, which we still have engine 2 today, but it's a much newer, obviously, fire engine. But that's in front of the old fire headquarters.
Okay.
And those are some of the original members, and you can see once again that fire truck behind them.
Yep.
Over by, I think it would be the town hall.
All right.
And that picture's in our fire headquarters. It's a great photo of our
It is.
membership. And by then, pretty active member. This is a newer photo of our fire department.
Okay.
This is in front of our fire headquarters. This is a photo J.T. Dunn and Jay Rankin and some of the officers and chiefs. Ron Baldy, who has since passed away, and some of our junior members. This is from a couple of years back, obviously. Some of our juniors, several of whom, in looking at the photo, are now active regular members. And I'm on the left side next to Jeff True, one of our past chiefs.
Okay.
So, and those are the equipment we have, the rescue and we've since upgraded to some of the newer equipment, but that's, I just thought it'd be interesting to get the 2 perspectives.
I was going to say, is Max Saybrook in that photo somewhere?
I'm trying to think, I believe he is just right up above the 2 chiefs there.
Up
You
top,
see them with the
okay.
white, yep.
Up top. Now, obviously, besides the photos and everything, we've got a parade.
Yes, we do.
Let's talk about it.
Thank you. I'd be glad to. We're doing our 100th anniversary Centennial Parade on Saturday, August 24th
Right.
at 4 p.m.
Okay.
And rain date is Sunday the 25th, but I'm sure Saturday will be a nice weather day.
Yes.
It begins at the top of Main Street, which is right at Main Street and Route 1.
Okay.
It proceeds down Main Street to our fire headquarters, which is at 310 Main Street, or the intersection of Old Boston Post Road and Main Street. We have, the latest update I'd had was that about 40 fire departments or fire companies are participating, probably expecting 200 firefighters or so in the equipment or marching, et cetera. And I think we're up to maybe 50 pieces of apparatus, as we call it. Fire engines, ladder trucks, tanker trucks, which carry a lot of water, rescue vehicles, specialized equipment. We also have a lot of antique equipment coming. I think almost a dozen, including that 1924
That's right.
fire engine. And then we have, I think it was Cheshire just sent us a note. The Cheshire Fire Department has a 1913 Model T that was related to their fire department, and now they're bringing that. And then some of the fire apparatus, older fire apparatus, will be in the parade as well. So beside the newest, most modern equipment, we're going to have between 8 and a dozen antique vehicles in the parade too. So that'll be great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
So it's it'll start right at 4 o'clock at the head of Main Street.
Yeah.
Go all the way down Main Street So we're hoping we get a lot of townspeople and others to show up for the parade, because it's a huge event
Yeah.
in our volunteer fire departments.
Right.
Obviously, 100 years doesn't come too often.
No.
And this is definitely the largest parade we've ever done. You can see that's a flyer the fire
Right.
department created
Yep.
for the parade at 4 o'clock on the 24th. But typically that's a picture of us marching in the Memorial Day parade,
Okay.
which is a big event for the town.
Right.
But in that event, we have our firefighters marching, and then we usually have 5 or 6 pieces of equipment. Contrast that with the parade on the 24th
Right.
of August, which will be almost 50 pieces of equipment from all over the state. We've been amazed at the response we've gotten. Besides the Valley Shore departments who we participate with,
Yep.
the Essex, Westbrook, Clinton, et cetera, Chester, there are fire departments from elsewhere in the state, New London County, Middlesex County, New Haven, et cetera. So it's been an amazing response. And a lot of it has been via social media,
Right.
because we've been posting for months now, and almost every day. Then some fire departments have seen it of late
Right.
and asked if they can come, and we've allowed them. Obviously, we welcome them to the parade. So it's going to be a whole lot of fire apparatus, a whole
Yeah.
lot of fire vehicles, and many marching firefighters, men and women. So it's going to be a very big day for our fire company.
Would you mind sticking around for another segment?
Sure.
All
Thank
right.
you very much.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Smart TVs and streaming services have taken over the television industry. VSC TV is proud to announce our presence on Apple TV and Roku to make watching your favorite shows even easier. You can access this service by downloading the Cablecast ScreenWeave app. Then choose Valley Shore Community TV from the list of channels. Select VSC TV Live to watch our channel in full HD. Or pick a show from our on-demand video library. VSC TV is your local Connecticut Mid-Shore Valley digital connection.
Welcome back to this week's edition of the Pete Mezzetti Show. Sitting here with Tony Cronin from the fire department in Old Saybrook. Tony, welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So we got a parade coming up, and we wanted to start out this segment maybe talking about the Grand Marshal of who's going to
Yes, sure. Thank you.
go for it.
We, as part of our celebration, we wanted to have grand marshals, and we chose 2 very, very instrumental and important people in the fire department.
Okay.
We are honoring 2 of the grand marshals are Ed Yeager,
Okay.
who has 51 years of service.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, amazing. Over a half century, including many decades as our fire company secretary,
Okay.
which is an important position, paying
Right.
the bills, et cetera. And the other grand marshal is our past chief, Wayne Wysocki. Wayne has 49 years of active service.
Right.
So I've just seen him at a call recently. So he's a past chief.
Yep.
So he's an active member. Ed was a very active member for many years, but he just went on to the veterans list. He's on the right side there. You see him in the old Model T that we had.
Okay.
Ed was, beside being a firefighter and our fire company treasurer, he's remarkably handy and very talented guy with small engine repairs, et cetera.
Really?
So, and Ed was always called upon to fix, our saws, to take care of any kind of issue, with our fans or whatever, and any kind of an issue with it involving small engines or basically anything mechanical. He was very, very talented and could handle. So he will be our grand marshal along with Wayne Wysocki. So
Okay.
we're very honored to honor the 2 of them, who have
Very nice.
over 100 years of experience. Between them are actually 100 years of service.
Right. Now let's talk a little bit about the fire department back in 1924 to the fire department in
Sure.
2024. What obviously a lot's changed.
Yes, indeed. Thank you. Over the past 100 years, when it first started out, it was volunteer. It's still volunteer. It's all volunteer department with the 33 members. And 1 fire engine. Over the years, they started acquiring more fire engines. Obviously, as the town grew, the membership grew. It's remained volunteer throughout that time. company training was instrumental. We still do company drills at least once or twice a month.
Oh, yeah?
And they began back in the early 20s to institute that. Some of the earliest firefighters, they had fire sirens or horns that would alert them to a fire, depending on the number of horn blasts, etc. I believe it was maybe in the 50s, thereabouts, that Old Saybrook Fire Department was one of the first in the county, in Middlesex County, to employ these types of radios. They're called plectrons, that were radios that would go off at a certain frequency and notify the firefighters, which was very, very big back in the day, and was instrumental for making sure everyone heard it. Today we use small fire pagers, which we all carry, which are much more advanced. You can set them to only alert you when there's a fire call. You can listen to county-wide calls.
Right.
On our pagers today, we have multiple channels where we can turn the dial, so to speak, to go to Essex, to listen to Old Lyme, etc., Westbrook.
Right.
So it's really advanced. Over the years, the training became more advanced. Fire department in Old Saybrook was one of the first to also use self-contained breathing apparatuses, air packs, SCBA as they're called. In the beginning, there might have been one or two, and in reading the minutes from back in the day, once they started using these fire packs, Scott breathing packs, air packs, that they were instrumental in saving people's lives and going into burning buildings where the smoke was so thick. But when you have a breathing apparatus, it makes fire suppression and fire rescue much easier. And then I believe it was in the early 60s, we had pictures we showed of the previous fire headquarters buildings. In early 60s, the town approved our current fire department headquarters at 310 Main Street. And they were very insightful. In the 60s, they built that building, and it accommodated our needs very well, almost, I believe it was late 90s, 1990s, when they did some improvements to the building. They put a pitched roof on it. We added an extra bay. In the front of the building, they pushed it out for the administrative and what we call our control room, radio room for fire calls. Added a few more offices, added additional bathrooms, etc. But it was amazing that from the 60s all the way through to the early 2000s, if you will, that building was more than enough to meet Old Saybrook's need. And I should mention that Old Saybrook, unlike many towns, we have one building, one fire headquarters on Main Street, which serves our needs for the southern part of town, northern, western, east. So we're able to accommodate and serve our needs throughout the town without an additional station. Other towns have, Essex and Clinton, et cetera, have more than one fire station because of the geography. But it's amazing how well that fire department building, the headquarters, has served our needs.
Now, how many members do you have?
We're currently at about 80 members. And of those, we have our fire officers, which we have a chief, we have a deputy chief, 2 assistant chiefs, captain of training, captain of apparatus. And then we also have our regular members, our firefighters. In addition, we have probationary members. When you first join, you join as a probationary member, and that's been a very active roster. We just had a new member come in as a probationary member at our August meeting. And then we also have junior members who are high school students. And once they turn 18, if they so elect, they can become a probationary member. And then we also have what's called our support members, fire police, and other support members. Perhaps they're a little older members who can still help out around the firehouse or whatever. But the juniors, I should mention, has become a very successful program in the high school. I've known over my 35 years junior members who've joined, and some of whom are now career firefighters.
Really?
Elsewhere around the state. Yes, so it's been a very good program. But of those 80 members, it comprises officers, regular members, probationary members, support members, etc. So it's a very active department, which is good. Even in today's age, when it's sometimes difficult to find volunteers, we have a very, very active roster still.
Now, as far as you mentioned fire police with the town of Old Saybrook Fire Department, I could think of one particular fire police member that off the top of my head.
Yeah, Max Sabrin.
There you go.
Max Sabin is our fire police officer and very active in the fire department. He
Right.
also helps out with a lot of events, as you know, and you've been very kind to publicize, including our Wreaths Across America,
Right.
and the Shoreline Soup Kitchen, the fire department
Oh, yeah.
food drive, which you're active in as well, which
Absolutely.
we thank you for.
Well, you're welcome.
So yeah, we have, it's a volunteer department and has remained volunteer for 100 years, but what's good about it is you do what you can.
Right.
And we have some members who join far younger than me who become very active. They move up the ranks of officers. And then others, I do a little more on the administrative side now that I'm older. But we also have specially trained firefighters in Saybrook, which is what we call our Rapid Intervention Team, or RIT, R-I-T.
Okay.
And they are called upon in the surrounding towns, beyond ours, to go to working structure fires. And their job is to assist if any firefighters get in trouble. God forbid they fall through a roof, through the floor, or whatever. And the RIT team has been very active. They go all around. This morning, early morning, they were in East Lyme for a structure fire.
Okay.
So that's something, relatively new.
Right.
Some other departments call it a fast team, RIT, whatever, but it's becoming rather common in the fire service to have firefighters on hand, usually from another area, another town, or if you're a career department, maybe from another company within that career department, to be there to help out in case firefighters, their SCBA's malfunction, or there's an air problem or whatever, to go in and to help them. So Saybrook has got a very well-trained group of firefighters. I'm not one of them, but younger members in some cases who are RIT trained, and they respond to a lot of fires in the Valley Shore.
Right.
And I should mention as well that the Old Saybrook Fire Department, the evolution from 1924 to today, there's a very active Valley Shore mutual aid system,
Okay.
which is any kind of working fires or incidents. Doesn't have to be a fire, can be an accident scene or something, where Westbrook might call Old Saybrook, or we may call Westbrook or Essex, or Old Lyme, etc. And that is very important to today's firefighting needs, because some of the smaller towns may have during the day not as many firefighters available,
Right.
etc. So the mutual aid system works very well. And to tie into the parade, we're very proud that nearly all those departments are participating in our parade, which we're very thankful for.
Right. You mentioned an SCBA. What is it?
It's called self-contained breathing apparatus.
Okay.
Some people would know it as a Scott Air Pack.
Gotcha.
That's the brand name. There's many other companies that make those, but that's part of the training to be an interior firefighter.
Okay.
Is to be SCBA trained. We all do physical exams every year, courtesy of the town of Old Saybrook.
Okay.
And one of the tests you do is a breathing test, and other tests that they do to make sure you're qualified to go in as an interior firefighter, to be able to wear an SCBA. It's basically what you wear on your back with a mask. You
Yep.
put it on. All of our firefighters, when they go inside any kind of a building, interior firefighters must wear an SCBA. And in addition, our department just got brand new portable radios, which some people may know as walkie-talkies.
Yep.
And our department is very, very progressive in that we don't send anyone in without his or her own portable radio,
Right.
in addition to what we call the mobile radios on the chief's cars, in our equipment, et cetera. So it's very important that they have that. But the SCBA's, that breathing apparatus, is instrumental, so instrumental in protecting firefighters
Yep.
from harmful smoke and carcinogens, as well as being able to save someone, to be able to go into a building. And we train we have our Fireman's Field, Clark
Yep.
Memorial Field,
Sure.
where we train, and we actually have, we recently acquired containers, like shipping containers, and
Okay.
the training division has very, very skillfully put those together into training facilities where you can you can set up rooms, you can set up certain areas, doors, how to open doors in a burning building, et cetera. So that's been very instrumental as well, and SCBA use on those is essential as well.
Now, as far as Fireman's Field goes, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's across from Pasta Vida.
Yes, it is.
All right.
Yes, it is indeed. Clark
All right.
Memorial Field, that most people know as Fireman's Field.
Yeah.
We have our training facilities there. We also have a banquet hall,
Okay.
a pavilion. There's a baseball field. It's a very unique, it's owned by the fire company. It's not a town-owned. The old Saybrook Fire Company owns it as a private, so we have our own private insurance, et cetera.
Right.
And we rent it out. It's become a very popular facility for rentals, both in the banquet hall as well as the pavilion for this time of year in the summer.
Yeah.
A lot of people have picnics. There's bridal showers, you name it, we've done there. But it's primarily, the primary use is for our members, for the training facility as well as the banquet hall where we hold meetings or annual events.
Okay.
But it's also open to the public to use in the banquet hall or pavilion. And the baseball field used to be used a lot by the Little League and other teams.
Really? I know where the field is. I've never stepped foot on the field.
Oh.
I think I might have to.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's a great resource for our fire company.
Okay.
And I should mention that in terms of the training as well as the other facilities, but our training facilities, we share those facilities with the Valley Shore Mutual Aid departments so that they can train in those facilities as well.
Well, we've got a little bit more time left, so let's details on the parade one more time before we say goodnight.
Thank you for
You're
that.
welcome.
Yes, it's our 100th anniversary, our Centennial Parade. It will be on Saturday, August 24th, 4 p.m. sharp. We're going from the top of Main Street, which is by Route 1, all the way down to the old Saybrook Fire Headquarters at 310 Main Street, which is also where all Boston Post Road intersects. Oh gosh, we have over 200 or so firefighters involved, over 50 pieces of equipment, 40 fire companies, departments involved. So it's going to be a very big event, very, very historic event, a very proud event for our fire department.
Wow. Well, Tony, before we say goodnight, I want to thank you for coming down. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thank you for hosting me and for helping us with our parade.
Not a problem. On behalf of Tony Cronin, I'm Pete Mezzetti. Thanks, good night. We'll see you next week.